Welcome to my stream. Hey Second Star, good to see you. Hey Cynthia. How are you doing? And I hope there will be popping in some more people soon. That would be really nice. So, hey guys. Hey, some cat there. Okay. Everybody pops out. But that is what I expected. Okay. Do I muted that one? Yeah. Muted that one. Let's see. Waiting. Well, I guess. At least one who's watching, but who? Who is the one? That's the question. I don't know. Did you pop out? Oh man. I guess I have to sit here and talk for myself again. It's not that fun, but we wait and see. We wait and see. Wait and see. There is anybody. Oh boy. What does that say? Anytime. Okay. Now I've done that. And we've got that. That's it. Well, today I don't have any specific topic, but I have some thoughts I have been thinking of. And what I have been thinking of is this with my wish to have a homestead. But, homesteads cost a lot of money to buy. So I can't afford that. So what are the options? Well, I have been thinking of caravan, but they are also expensive unless you go and buy one cheap, and you have to probably refurb it and fix it if you buy it really cheap. Um, but I don't know if that is a good option. So, how do you get a second place? We have to build a homestead. Well, a summer house would be nice to have, but they are also expensive. So, I think that is not an option because I can't do that because I can't take any loan for that. So uh, all I have is a tent and use that as an extra emergency. Okay. Oh, that way. I hope that is better. I hope that works. Oh, good. About that, um, I can move this up and down, and I forgot to lower it. Well, I had in mind to what can you do when you don't have can't afford a bug out location? Well, you have some options. Well, first of all, you can buy 6 acres in a house, but that costs a lot of money, and I can't take a loan for that. So I don't see that as an option. And if you just buy land without, uh, buy a property without a house, well, that is expensive as well. So I was thinking about a caravan. A caravan is not that cheap either. They are expensive. So if you can't buy one, uh, that will be a problem. Uh, and the other one you can do is buy a really cheap one, in, but you don't know what condition that caravan is or good which shape it is in. Probably you need to do some refurb on the caravan, and that will cost some money as well. So I have been thinking about this, and I don't know really what to do actually. So uh, the only option I have is a tent for at the moment. But I had in mind to find a decent place area to uh, use that as a bug out location. But and a tent. The problem will be at the winter time because this tent I have is a 3 season tent. So it's spring, summer, and fall, not winter. So that will be a problem. I need better options. Or otherwise, is to go to somebody else's summer house or something like that. But you need to know the person who own it. Um, So I don't know really what to do. Oh, I'm just sitting here and babbling for myself. Uh, ah, at least one pop up. Oh, I'm gonna put that as well. So, well, that was a lot of drop in, pop in, and drop outs. As usual. As usual. Hey, Harvey. Good to see you. I almost got crazy in here. You get people jump in and jump out, and good to see you, Harvey. Hey, Oz. Hey, Jack. Good to see you. It's I'm really happy to see you guys. I just begin to think that I'm the only one here. Uh, and I'm happy to see that people begin to pop in. So that is really nice. Uh, I think we do like this again. Let's see if this works. Paste. Yeah, it is always nice to chill out and listen to others. I agree, Jack. It makes everything much easier. So, well, I put the link out if someone feel like to join me up here. So, and I hope, really hope that we'll pop in a lot more people. And yeah, geez, I'm so dry. Ah, that was better. Um, well, chilling, just chilling out. You need to do that. You don't need to have a specific topic. Uh, I was thinking about this with when you can't afford a bug out location with a or a homestead. I was thinking about that. What can you do? If you, what can you do when you can't afford that? Well, hey, John H. Good to see you, buddy. Well, it's good to see some people popping in. That is nice. And you're very welcome, guys. Much appreciated. So, hey, Gemma. Good to see you. How are you doing, Gemma? I hope everything is okay with you. Well, if somebody wants to join me, the link is in the chat. Uh, hey, Jack.
Hey man, how you going?
Good to see you. Good to see you again, buddy.
Just let me set this up in a minute.
And I noticed You got a lot of followers lately, I noticed.
Yeah, Pinball. He one of his podcasts where he was opening up mail and stuff like that.
Yeah,
He mentioned me and asked, well, actually asked his members of the community there to follow me, as an Aussie and so on, and to
yeah,
support me. And one day it was like, I don't know, I don't want to exaggerate, but just under 200 people popped in. So it was a great feeling to see that there are people willing to support each other out there.
yeah.
I'm presuming most are Americans, but that's great because
Y-
a good part of my adult life, if not most of it, was with Americans. So I don't, in my mind, they're at home in my channel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Although I'm an Aussie, but
Well, I'm really happy for you because when I uh, got to your channel at first, you just had 31.
yeah,
And I tried to help you so you could get more. And the last time I saw the numbers you had 56, I believe. And now you are up over 200. And that is awesome.
yeah, it was like I said. You know what? Um, as far as I'm concerned, Aussies and Americans are long-standing brothers and sisters. But like I said, me personally, I can't speak for all Australians on that topic. But me personally, it's been normal. Most of the time, I've been flinging the poop around with
Yeah,
Americans. As far as work goes, it's everything. It's like we shoot in the same turf. It's like work. 90%, 90% of the people around me were Americans.
yeah,
So to me, it's normal.
yeah. Actually, I'm really happy for you that you reached that number because you really deserve it, and you because your channel are really good, so you
I'm
really
learning.
deserve it.
I'm learning. But again, the most important thing there is to get more people who are not preppers thinking, thinking with their own mind.
Yeah, we have the same problem here in Sweden as well. Uh, there are some who has that mindset, but there are also a lot of people who don't because they think we are doomsday preppers or things like that, but we are not because we try to inform people that uh, it is common sense. If you go back 100, 200 years, or thousands of years back to the Stone Age, people will just stored food for the winter so they could survive the winter. And that was the common sense. But the word prepper didn't exist at that time. So prepping is basically common sense and an insurance for your sake and your family's sake.
Yeah, that was brought to my attention recently.
Yeah,
Even in Australia, when someone says prepper, it's like tinfoil hatters. I mean,
yeah,
I guess that's a generalization, but I think it's the best description of some of the nutcases out there who call
yeah,
themselves preppers but are more conspiracy theorists and
yeah, yeah,
extremists. I just call
yeah,
them all extremists, regardless whether they're left, right, this or that, pink, brown, whatever. I don't care.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. You have
And
rational people and irrational people.
yeah, and I
That's
heard someone say that those who ha- were preppers and they call them mad scientists and things like that. What?
well, you know what? It's surprising because you mentioned the Stone Age. They don't have to go to the Stone Age. just go to this. Let's not look at the Eastern Bloc. Let's look at the Western Bloc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I often refer to the Eastern Bloc because that's where my wife is from. That's where I met her. That's where I lived for many
Yeah.
years. So I'm familiar with a part of the Eastern Bloc, the former communist socialist bloc, and all the,
Yeah.
I'll say good and bad things, more bad than good, but the differences there. I won't say that. I'll say the differences between the mentality and all that, the way people think
Yeah.
and see things and so on. But at the same time, if we just look at the Western countries, right, whether it be West Germany, well, Germany, should I say,
Yeah.
Germany, Austria, and I'll refer to Europe now because I won't say I'm not familiar with it. I am somewhat familiar with some of it, not all, more so Central Europe. Okay, so from Germany all the way down to Croatia, you know,
Yeah.
so and Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia, former Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
So we could say from the Adriatic all the way up to the Northern Sea of Germany. Um, that that realm from there. Okay, so that's what I'm familiar with those nations and those peoples, and in more ways than one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in the Western world, right?
Yeah.
It's only been since the 19, uh, realistically, since the 1950s slash 60s. Well, no, 1960s really, but we
Yeah.
could say 1950s. That the idea of just going to a shopping center slash shopping mall,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just going to go buy what I need for today or for tomorrow or for this
Yeah.
week. Or, but even in those years, the butcher, you had to go to a butcher
Yeah.
and you had to coordinate with the butcher. When's the meat? When are you getting the next, beef from the farms, from the, that you work with and so on and so on, right? So
Yeah.
it wasn't a case of just hopping into a shopping center or a supermarket, as we like to call it most often, and just buying what you need for today. There wasn't 50 different types of meats to buy. There weren't 50, 60, 100 different types of canned goods to buy. It was very limited. The offer was very limited. So what we now call prepping was back then in the even as early as the 1950s, which to the younger people may seem like, oh, that was almost 100 years ago. Yeah, it was. But in reality, if they ask their grandparents, right, or maybe even their parents in some cases,
Yeah.
they were alive then.
Yeah.
They were living in that. I remember the milk being delivered. I remember the milkman delivering milk in Northcote.
Yeah.
I honest to God remember it. It was just milk bottles with little tin foil on top, and
Yeah.
and the cream would be at the top of the. It was like it was a normal thing. It was just the way it was. You didn't go to the shops and buy milk, although we did have a Safeways down a shop supermarket not far from us, just down the street at the intersection. But still, you don't go to the supermarket for your milk. The milkman delivers it. You try to explain that to somebody today, they'll be like, "Why? Just drive down to the shops and buy some milk,"
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to
Hello.
explain it. Hey, who was that?
Oh, it's Gemma.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Gemma. Good to see you.
You too, Joanne.
Hey, Gemma, nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah. I try to get back on track again, Gemma. So
Sorry, I threw you off. My apologies.
yeah, I watched that video and that was awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Gemma, with you about that one. It's really important.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the most rant video I've done in a long time. I was determined to get my point out. So
Good.
But you did a great job with that video, Gemma. So
thank you. I
be
appreciate that.
be proud of it, Gemma.
I am. That's a pretty. I am proud of. It took me like 6 times to film the thing. So yeah.
Yeah. How do you come up with that idea to make a video about that, Gemma?
Because it was brought to my attention in the autism community that I'm part of, and they basically said, this needs to be talked about and it needs to be brought to public attention to the point where enough is enough of abuse towards autistic people. And I was like, you know what? If no one else is going to talk about it, I will. So I just ran with it and made it my own.
Yeah.
Because no one else was brave enough to talk about it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's all over the press. Why isn't anyone who's actually autistic talking about this? I was like, you know what? Damn it, I will. So I just went onto my channel, filmed it, and uploaded it. And yeah, it's got like over 100 views right now. So it's been one of my most popular ones.
Well, that's awesome.
So yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I hope that more people will start taking notice.
That is, I think that is awesome, and you try always to do a good job with to get the information out. So
Yeah, I research a lot of my videos beforehand, so I'll sit here and research them, and I don't film them until I'm 100% happy with them, and then by the time I've done that and edited and uploaded, it's usually about 5-6 hours.
yeah,
So
that's a long time of editing.
yeah, but it works. It helps me keep focus, I guess. So
Yeah, and you take a lot of what you do in your videos from your own experiences as well. So
yeah.
and so that is what I like with your channel is you are yourself. You don't pretend to be someone else.
No, 100% not. It's by the end of the day, what's the point of me pretending to be someone else when I'm not going to be able to do what people expect me to do? And by the end of the day, it's a case of I've got nothing to hide. All my channel is my real life. So there's nothing that I can hide from anybody, and I don't want to.
That is good, Gemma.
Confusion.
And it's been a while since I've seen anybody being live on YouTube. So I'm kind of trying to catch up with people. And I saw that you'd gone live. I was like, oh, you're in live. Okay, I'll go there.
Can I just jump in and say, don't hide anything. Just confuse people. Confuse the system, not people, but the system.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do things nowadays.
What do you do on your channel, Oslander? I take it it's about your living in Australia. I take it.
No, I'm actually just I'll say very recently. I've actually come to the conclusion that we need to get the word out. Prepping. I've been prepping.
Okay.
For a while, but that's not the point. The point is, the only people that knew about it were the inner family and some friends. But after watching a couple of channels out there, the two blokes that actually got me thinking, got me on the guilt trip was Alaska Prepper and Pinball Prepared.
Yeah, I know who Pinball is. Yeah.
Yeah, watching their channels, I didn't have the habit of subscribing to channels that often. I just knew what channels I watched, and they were the ones that
Yeah.
you sort of like you keep going to the same ones over and over again. They're the people that you want to watch. But then after a while, I actually started subscribing to channels and said to myself, "Oh, bugger YouTube and Google. They already know what I'm watching." It's like, who cares? It's not like you said, not like you can hide anything. And
Yeah.
and then the conscience kicked in and said, "What's the point of my family being safe and sound?" Quotation marks. And I guess that was part of the safety of not talking about it anywhere. But then I said, "What's the point? If your neighbours are all, up the creek without a paddle,
Yeah.
it's like, have I done anything good?" the answer is no. And then bit by bit, I started actually commenting on some things, which was absolute zero for me because I was like, no, at that point, I've seen what happens. I've seen that years ago what happened on Twitter to people. You make a comment and it's like, toxicity at its worst. So I've just said I'm not going to waste my time on that stuff anymore. And the whole time, I'll say the last 4 years that I've been active in the crypto scene. Well, actually, the blockchain scene. I don't like saying the crypto scene. The blockchain side of the things. The prepping was something which was a private thing, personal thing, had nothing to do with anything or anyone. But again, why waste my time on something which is a copy paste of real politics, real governments, which is pretty much the people involved in the blockchain side of cryptos. Not all of them, but way too many of them. They're only human. Don't get me wrong. I'm not holding that against them. It's just disappointing. So then I decided to get active here and say, well, I can't really talk to Yanks or Brits about anything. So there's no point in me trying to tell a Pom what to do. You're in Britain. It's your job to look after your backyard, just like it's an American's job to look after his backyard.
Yeah.
But what about my backyard?
Yeah, we have to all look after our own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in a selfish way. It's just common sense.
No, not at all. We all have certain ways of doing stuff, and I know that prepping's become a very big topic here on YouTube for the last few months that I've seen on part of a few prepping channels that talk about how to look after yourself. And there's another channel that you might want to check out, Auslander, called Ghost Prepper. He's a really good guy. He does a lot of advice and stuff.
Yeah, follow him, subscribe to him as well. Just I don't chat there, I don't talk there. But
yeah, he's a really good guy.
If I don't catch him live, I catch him usually I catch him on the replays because of the time zones and all that.
Yeah, usually it's like early hours in the morning for me, so because obviously I'm 5 hours in front of US, so
temporarily I'm 5 hours ahead as well because I'm in Europe at the moment, physically.
Yeah, Australia and the UK is you're like 9 hours ahead of me, I think, aren't you? Australia are.
Yeah, 8 or 10, depending on the the change in the clock.
Yeah.
So very rarely is it 9. It's usually either 8 or 10.
I've got family over there, so I have to try and schedule and just speak to them.
Yeah, so you know the nightmares.
Yeah, not too well. Every time they try and Skype me, I'm either going to bed or they're waking up, or I've just woken up, they're going to bed. I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, I'm having to try and schedule. Like, last time I ended up speaking to him, it was like, 6 a.m. your time, and I was just about to head to bed. And they're like, oh, Gemma, can you stay up? I'm like, all right, I'll give you an hour or so. And it ended up being like 3.5 hours. I'm like, I really need to go now. I was falling asleep. So it's difficult when you've got family over there who want to talk to you for like hours and hours at a time. And I'm like, you do realize the time difference, don't you? Like, I'm about to go to bed.
All too familiar.
Gemma,
who else have we got in your challenge, Jordan? Who we got? Second Star Survival.
Yeah.
And Bradley. Oh, hey Bradley, how are you?
Gemma, so what I was going to say it was, how is the situation in UK now?
We're getting a lot better. We've kind of recently developed some more situations, but I just had to actually do a certain test because I'm going to a concert event on Monday, and they make anyone who's going to an event, a large crowded event, take a test between 36 to 48 hours ahead. So me and my sister just had to do a certain test, and then we go to the event on Monday. So we've had to kind of make sure that we're ready to go, and we've logged everything that we need to do. And yeah, it's yes, John, I'm in England. Yeah, and it's currently 20 to 8 in the evening, and I've just ordered myself some Chinese.
What kind of tests?
Hey, there's John H.
Test. We had to do a COVID self COVID test,
Okay.
so that we don't get told off when we get to the event, because they require a proof of being tested. So yeah, me and my sister had to do one tonight. So I've got to log it in. I've got to log it in the morning to get the certificate to say that I don't have it. So yeah. Oh, John, you're in Scotland, so Scotland to me is about 6.5, 7 hours drive, and about 2 hours on a plane. Hi, Second Star Survivor. How are you? It's good to see you. It's been a while. So I don't want to feel like I'm taking over during stream. I don't want to feel like I'm sitting here and kind of being bossy.
Yeah, John put up a great video from some young people. I mean, young compared to me, young people. A band playing and young people getting together. It's like, oh, that's how it should be done. Mate. Hey, Second Star Survival. That video just made me realize that there are some. That's how it should be done. Showing that young people still know how to get together and enjoy life.
Yeah.
In all these.
So that's why me and my sister can't wait to go to our event on Monday. It's the first time we're able to go to an event without feeling that we need to worry about being close to people. And I'm like, you know what? It'll be the best thing to go out, because we haven't been able to go out hardly anywhere. So now we're allowed to go out again. I'm like, why not make the best of it before things change again? So you'll find Second Star Survivor. I talk to a lot more Americans than I do British people on YouTube. So
Yeah, that is a strange thing. I noticed it's most those who follows me or watching my channel are the highest percentage comes from US, and then below that UK.
yeah,
So that is pretty interesting.
yeah, for sure.
And that is not many from my own country. I didn't find any numbers from Sweden at all. So
I'm surprised at that.
yeah,
Considering that Sweden and associated countries are a lot bigger than places like the UK, for example. I thought you'd have a lot more people who'd be watching you from your end.
yeah, and it was a percentage from Australia who followed me as well. So US, UK, and Australia.
Yeah, that does make sense. A lot of my viewers are US, Australia, and Canada
Yeah,
that follow me. I'm like, this is really strange. I don't know how it works, but
yeah, I have been thinking of that too. It's really strange.
yeah.
Well, not really.
Okay, second.
It's all English speaking. We're all English speaking. So
Yeah,
Your Australian accent is super relaxing. Whenever I hear and not see an Aussie on a stream, or I've had an Aussie on my panel before, and it's like the accent is just so soothing. Like you kind of feel automatically relaxed with someone who's from the land down under, as I call it.
Yeah. We're usually chilled out. Just don't, don't. I'll just say rub us the wrong way. Just like with Marvel.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, the only country in the world where call a mate the C word and call a C the mates, so to say, depending on which context you use it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But how's things been for you, Joran? I know you've been a bit quiet on YouTube front for a while.
Yeah. Well,
But I just need to
I think I have been making videos for 2 or 3 years now.
John too. Phone call maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Gemma is a great lady, young lady, so
Excellent.
yeah.
The more younger people involved, the better. The more younger people thinking
Yeah.
independently, the better.
Yeah, and the reason why she began to create YouTube videos was that would help her because she has autism, and that would help her to uh, expression express. Oh, I don't find the words. Um, well, she could easily connect with other people
Oh, yes.
through the videos. Because when she was in the reality, she had problems with that, and the videos has made her helped her to be more
open.
yeah, upfront.
That's excellent. I mean, I'm learning and I'm finding that, yeah, um, I think everybody that has that is communicating via YouTube is finding their own little individual way of doing it.
Yeah,
Um, and the creativity part of it really comes into it sometimes as well, because sometimes you really need to hold back when you're watching something, not to comment, just to, so you learn a little bit of self-discipline in the, yeah, let's say, for example, old school Australians, we say what
yeah,
we think, we don't care. But you can't do that here.
true.
Yeah. I mean, that's just reality. I mean, I'm not going into any conspiracy theory stuff. I'm just saying it as it is.
Well, it's the
Now,
reality, and it is.
it's an
So
international crowd. Plus, you have the big brother called Google/YouTube. You
yeah,
have the terms and conditions, and then you have that, oh, what are they called? Fact checkers. And, the whole different load of things there. So when you add all that together, I
yeah,
can't communicate the way I normally communicate. But at the same time, I guess I'm learning to communicate. I'm learning a new, I won't say skill, just a new means of communications that is, I'll say, somewhat more acceptable among the current way of things in the world. I'm adapting, I'm learning. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
yeah. I agree. I agree. And when before Gemma just popped out, um, dropped out. I was going to ask her now if the food prices has gone up in UK, but
I dare say they have, just like everywhere.
yeah,
I
they
don't
will.
think that's a I don't think that's just specific to Europe, and I think that's all over the world right now.
Yeah, and our fuel prices, we we are at from the moment $1.81 for regular gasoline, and $1.92 for diesel. So that
Yeah.
is pretty high prices for
Well,
gas
get a
and
chance.
diesel.
If you get a chance, look at the. I think it's the very last video or the second last video. I'm not sure if you put a new one out between. Of Alaska Prepper. Well, the last two videos he did, but the last
Yeah,
one that he did, in reference to that, and what I'll dare say the IMF, not the IMF, but the EM. Oh, man, my mind's not straight today, obviously. But the economics, whatever the economic, the new digital currency plan and so on, and what they're going by as far as the average wage and so on and so on and so on, right? And look who's going to be affected by it. All of the countries, such as Western European countries, all the Western world is going to be affected by it. So, and they're not hiding it. It's being put out in. That's the sad part. It's being put right in front of everybody's face. And people like Alaska, Rudy can yell about it as much as he wants. People aren't listening. They don't. It's as if they don't care. They don't understand. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it. And there's no conspiracy theory there. It's official documents being issued by these bodies in plain sight.
yeah,
That's the part that's the most frightening in all of this.
yeah, it is. And I talked to a woman on another stream. I believe it was yesterday. Uh, Her son in his area in U.S. he had to pay about $4 for a gallon,
That's what a buck a liter.
and in her area the price was about $2 a gallon.
Oh,
So, and that was, she said that it was insane high price on gasoline. So,
insane.
yeah,
Well, they need to see Europe and Australia.
yeah,
Australia's paying, well, I'll just say a euro per litre or a buck 50 per litre or a buck 20, 30, 40 per litre. Australian dollars is roughly just under a euro. But yeah, I mean, a euro per litre is some sort of rounded off figure, I guess, per litre. So that would be what, €4 per gallon? 440 euro,
yeah,
4.4 euro per gallon. Still more than the US.
yeah,
Yep, that's the video.
yeah,
If you get an opportunity to watch it because he's relaying the information that's being put right in front of. It's again, it's not being done behind anybody's back. All these people about a conspiracy theory that are claiming that it's all being done in secrecy. No, it's not. They're literally. It's like people have just become numb to all. I don't get it. There's no conspiracy. Quotation marks conspiracy. A conspiracy is something that's done in secret that nobody knows about. There may be some things behind the scenes that people don't know about, obviously, but let's put that aside. Let's look at what's not a conspiracy, what's not secretive. It's everything they're putting right in front of our faces, and there it is,
yeah.
in plain daylight.
And that is why I like Alaska Prepper, because he always find news I never thought existed. So this is really bad, and it will be worse. It will, and the life on this planet will turn out to be much tougher, harder, uh, and lower standard of living. Uh, I believe everything will go down
Oh,
around the globe,
100% guaranteed. It's just
and
the
that,
control. It's the
yeah,
control factor. The control factor. The how to put? I dare say that the I say should start with the SS, not the SS, but the Gestapo. The Gestapo. That's the one.
yeah,
The Gestapo approach to policing the states, to controlling the states. That's the part, or the or the KGB type of thing. It's like you don't know who you can trust because brother will be, lagging in or dobbing in brother, literally. Not neighbor telling on neighbor. That's already happening.
yeah,
You'll get people within the family doing it just to get a bonus point or a bonus credit or a bonus loaf of bread. And that might sound like an exaggeration, but if you're going to get an extra, bonus in something, then guess what? That's the loaf of bread. There's no difference. It's the same immorality.
and that is one of the reasons it is so important to begin to stock up on food and water and things like that now before it's too late.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And I'm still going to say the same thing I said, and I keep saying it all the time. If you have the means or the capability to get the heck out of cities, get the F out of the cities, because the cities are just becoming legalized concentration camps. Not concentration camps in any movie style of concentration camp, but a controlled concentration of people who are dependent exclusively upon the masters. Dots. That is a concentration camp by definition. Hey, there's Greyman.
Grayman prepping. Gas prices for regular here in US range from $2.80 to $4.40 a gallon.
So there it is. 1 unit of currency per litre, 4.40 per gallon. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, it is. What is it? 4.4 litres to a gallon, right? Roughly.
Yeah, it ranged from $2.80 to $4.40 a gallon.
Yeah, they'll all go up to 4.40. If somebody's already tested that price out and people aren't complaining, then the others will soon follow suit. Same thing in the whole entire world. There was a saying I heard, quotation marks, story slash saying.
Yeah,
Stalin told one of his commissars to raise the taxes by 5% or whatever. And
yeah,
a couple of months later, he calls the commissar and he says, "Comrade Commissar, what are the people saying? Nothing. They're whinging, complaining. They're not happy about it. Good. Raise the taxes another 10% or 5% or whatever." And the commissar looks at him. "You heard me, Comrade Commissar. Raise the taxes by another 5%. So they do that, and a couple of months goes past. Calls the commissar in and says, "Comrade Commissar, what are the people saying?" "Well, they're upset, they're complaining, wherever they get together, that's all they're talking about is the prices, how it's all hard. They're all crybabies, blah, blah, blah. Good, raise the taxes another 5%. And the commissar just gives that look like, what, WTF. And he says, you heard me, Comrade Commissar. Don't give me that look. Raise the taxes another 5%. So he raises the tax another 5%. A few months go past. Calls the comrade in, the commissar in, and says, Comrade Commissar, what are the people saying? Nothing. I've got good news for you, Comrade Stalin. The people are quiet. Nobody's complaining. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the Stalin says, holy crap. Holy, noodles. We're in trouble. Lower the taxes 10%. And there's so much truth in that. Like Grayman just said, $2.80 to $4.40 per gallon in the USA.
Yeah.
In the US, that is unheard of. Always has been. That has been their pride and joy that people were able to buy petrol, gasoline, dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. And guess what?
US has been dirt cheap for a long time, even cheaper than Sweden. So,
well, that's what this is. The 440 is just to see who complains and who doesn't. And if they don't, if the people start getting quiet, then the politicians, the government, know that they're in trouble. But while they're all blah, 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 getting out on the street and protesting and yelling and screaming, that's all quotation marks falling into the trap, biting the bait. It's when the people start to shut the heck up. That's when they know that something's, going on that they're not aware of. They're not stupid. But I like that Russian story because it could be based on some truth. I'm not 100% certain, but most stories in the Eastern Bloc usually are based on some sort of historical event that they couldn't talk about outright because they'd be in trouble for it. So they'd make up these little, stories and stuff like that.
let's see what Gray says now. Last year here locally, gas prices were roughly around $1.87 per gallon. So that is a huge difference between the last year and the prices today.
And by mid 2022, we could put a wager, down like a betting. I'd say over $5 per gallon on average.
Yeah, I agree with you about that, second. Definitely. You need definitely different spices. Well, and you grow tired of the same flavor, yes. So it's good to have a variety of spices you can choose from.
Oh, what's a good thing to buy for soups and for spicing food and all that? It's Mrs. uses it all the time. Vegeta, Vegeta, Vegeta.
Yeah.
It really does add a lot of flavor to just about any food. It's excellent.
Yeah, I never heard about that one before, but uh, it sounds like an interesting spice.
Yeah, they've got some secret herbs and spices in there. I don't know. It's been around her part of the world forever.
Yeah. but if it gives you a lot of flavor to the food, it's good. And if you,
Yeah, it's on the saltier side of things. It's good
yeah,
in soups and all sorts of anything that's cooked in a pot. I guess you could, and for the baked goods as well. But for anything that's being cooked in a pot, add that in there. Oh, it really does add a lot of flavor to the food.
welcome, Citizen Guardian. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, CG.
Another great guy.
Yeah,
He he is
and
really
he under,
awesome.
yeah, and he understands my sense of humor, which is rare.
Yeah, I think all need some humor in our lives. The life would be boring without humor.
Yeah,
And what does Grayman says now? I'm going to go within 6 months or less. The U.S. economy will most likely falter, which will affect other countries around the world. Prep and get things in order while you can. I pray and hope I'm wrong. Well, well, Grayman, I have the same feeling as you have. Um, I believe that the dollar will fail and go really south, which would affect um, the Swedish currency as well, because our currency is connected to the dollar and the dollar controls our currency. So that would suck really. But I have the same feeling as Grayman, no doubt about it. So I think we will see a financial collapse. The question is when.
just today when I was talking with me missus, I mentioned that during that 7 year period of
Yeah,
evil that we're looking at in the future, I said we could be already in it. We just don't know it. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but I said the worst part about it is every day is going to feel like, as long as a year, it's going to feel like an eternity. But the 7 years will go past quickly. It's just as with everything in life, but every day will be very long.
I created redundancy. Good to see you. CR, he's a fascinating guy. He always has ideas.
Well, this little exercise earlier on was interesting, getting
Yeah,
people to think and talk.
he's a really brilliant guy, CR, and he can really think out of the box. So he he's very creative and he can do things that I didn't think was even possible to do. So and he likes to talk.
Good.
He's very
You need people like that too. Oh, you saw my suggestion about podcasts, right?
yeah. I watched that video. Yes.
I can't stress enough just how much work has been put into all these videos that we've all been watching, and
Yeah.
many of you long timers here, old timers here, on old timers on YouTube, that is. Um, all your work has been put in. That's, we could say, years of work or hours, and it hasn't been capitalized on to hundreds of thousands of people in each continent, or at least tens of thousands of people in most continents, and with the highest concentration being in the USA. So you should think about that, and you're really not doing anything more, or you're not doing much more than what you're already doing. It's just a case of converting it to MP3 and uploading it.
I think it's a great idea to have what you suggest, a podcast or something to spread the word about prepping or preparedness in general.
Well, you need to reach out to people.
Yeah,
There's millions of people around the world listening to podcasts daily. That's potentially millions of people who will one day hear about what prepping is all about and why they should prep, and maybe hear another version, an independent review of something that's going on in reality.
yeah,
Start thinking, or as creative would say, thinking out of the box.
exactly. Not that one. Let's hope not. It was an answer, a reply on uh, John A. John H. What he said to Grayman.
Let's see
Uh,
what these. I don't want to put my glasses on, but I might have to.
Idiot with ideas. That was the reply on that. Let's hope not. But if that is really true, that it will go south in that time frame,
Well,
that means you don't have much time to stock up with food, water, or other necessary things you really need.
oh, it's plenty of time, but you just need to put your priorities straight. So if you have two PlayStations in the house, guess what? If the kids have two I'm just saying a PlayStation and a Nintendo, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Choose one, kids. You're not going to have two. You're going to have one from now on. Sell one, buy food with it. If you've got three cars in the house and there's only two of you that are drivers in the house, guess what? Sell the bloody third car and stuff like that, and so on. Convert
yeah,
it into convert it into the necessary items you need to be able to get through the tough times. But not many people are willing to give up their luxuries. They become too attached to stupid, silly little material things.
yeah.
And mea culpa, I was there. I was there.
Uh, and the Citizens Guardian says it's best to always be prepared via food rotation and gear checks. I agree. I agree. Rotate your food and water and and check your gear. It is really important to do that. So you don't get caught on the with the pants down and look with a big question mark over your head. What happened? Why doesn't my radio works or my generator works? So that is why it's important to check your gear so everything works properly. So you can replace it if it's broke or fix it if you can. Oh boy.
So true. Yeah.
Harvey, do something about that one. Yeah,
What is it? What is it with these spammers? The hell are they doing?
yeah, it's a spammer. Yeah, create a redundancy, took care of it. Thanks, CR.
Speaking with a mate of mine from Ireland earlier on today,
Yeah,
and he's still involved somewhat in one of the cryptocurrency scenes out there, and apparently it's jumped up a fair bit, but that's because of one particular game slash project game, online game that's being utilizing that currency now. Recently, it's just a temporary. It's the in thing at the moment as far as the economics. The what's it called? The pressure is on the upward pressure. The demand
yeah,
is rising at the moment on that currency. And speaking with him, all I said was, well, you know what I think about that? People running these chains are no different to politicians. They may speak, they may talk the talk, but they sure as hell don't walk the walk. They're behaving just like typical people who want power and control all over the place. Yeah, exceptions. There's always exceptions, but they're individuals. They're very far and few between. But I said, make sure you get the most out of it while it's guaranteed. Don't speculate. Don't be one of those people that, oh, just another $10, another $100, another $100. And he gave me good news. He said, oh, yeah, I'm making sure that I have a little bit left over, and so much is being cashed in and being used to cover some things that I wasn't able to cover before. And I'm like, excellent, good thinking, smart man.
um,
Stretching exercises.
yeah. Um, Grayman says that when we do the creator meeting, I'll teach you a few ways to keep the trash out. Trust me, I will need that. I will really need that.
Internet trash. Not
Yeah,
trailer trash, but net trash.
I have some trolls before. I just blocked them. And I did a collab with two other uh, lovely women,
Oh,
and we had about a collab about bullying and things like that. And we had a lot of trolls coming in, and my mods worked their basically their butts off and to get rid of them. So that was actually a really bad day because they put their words specific to one of them, uh, and I felt very sorry for her, and it was not really a good feeling I got from that. So, but we made it, made the through. So, but one of my mods, he gets so pissed. He asked if he could come up on the panel, and I said yes. And I gave him the link, and he just came up, and he could relax. He was so pissed of all these trolls. So I when I do my videos and upload them, I got some trolls. I had a few, but I haven't seen any on a couple of weeks now. So except for now.
um, just block and report them.
Yeah. Citizen Guardian says, makes no sense why someone would troll you. There's very few people as genuine and nice as yourself. Strange world. Huh. I agree. I agree. General, when it comes to trolls, they attack mostly those larger channels, those who have a lot more than I have anyway. So because they know there are more people on their streams, so I don't know why they have the energy to get on my streams and do something like that. I don't get it, but
I think it's all bots. I could be wrong.
yeah,
Just bots randomly.
trolls like to destroy for other good for other people who are good and genuine and work hard for to build up their channels. That's all they do. That's the best thing they have in their lives.
Unfortunately, sad, but that is true. There are some people who haven't stepped out of their home, and I don't mean in a lockdown, but in general, they haven't gone out of the house or out of the apartment for years now.
Yeah, citizen, that would be awesome. We could do that, buddy. Yeah, I agree. CR. Oh, CR. Yeah, CR is fast. Yeah, citizen. There you go, citizen. Just hop up or jump up. It depends. Well, he will pop up.
But then he'll be inside one of the boxes.
Yeah.
He won't be out of the box. He'll be in the box on the screen.
Yeah, you could say that. Well, he'll pop up soon enough. It takes some time.
He's Canadian. He's allowed to.
Yeah. When you and I click, when I click a link like that, I feel it goes so fast to join. And when you are on the host for a stream and waiting for someone to pop up, it takes some takes. It feels like it takes a longer time for them to pop up.
Well, by the time they do their hair and put their makeup on and everything.
Yeah. Well, he is there. Hey, buddy. Good to see you again.
Hey there. Yeah, same. Thank you for letting me up on the panel, and good to see everybody in the comment section as well, and yourself. It's just a topic that I've been thinking about a bit more recently, and it's quite a topic I've been thinking about in depth. You know, the organization of preps and stuff like that, because God only knows how long I've spent, how many hours and days, many years actually just really redefining some of the preps that I've got as well, and it's always something that I find quite interesting, just thought that maybe you wanted to chat about that a bit. I'm going to turn off my camera here just for a moment as well. Sorry about that. Just taking care of something real quick, but I'll come back on camera soon, and I'll stay around in audio. I don't know if you guys experience the same thing with longevity of how frustrating it can be. There's even sometimes where I'll go, because I've got a specific room where I do a lot of my prepping stuff, and then I'll even go in there sometimes and just sit there for an hour or two, just mentally trying to just organize as well. And obviously using things, you find out what works better for you as well. That's always one of the best ways to go out and into the woods and actually use some of your stuff, because then you find out what works and what doesn't. And
yeah, I agree.
I'm having a cigarette, and I don't like to smoke cigarettes on stream, so that's why I'm popping up at the moment, just so I can speak via audio.
Yeah.
I don't like advertising online. Very seldom they bring up that I smoke, but
yeah, I
we
agree
should
with you.
charge the cigarette companies for advertising them. They should be paying us.
Yeah.
Damn it! I got a mozzie buzzing around. 1 second.
Otherwise, Shadow, how's your experience been? Have you also been frustrated sometimes with just organization in general? Have you unpacked and repacked your bug out bags many times over? Is that something that you found as a slight?
I have actually a little bit of struggle to organize it, so you get it
unpacked and repacked your bug out bags many times over. Is that something that you?
I want to have it nice, organized, so it is easier to find everything specific, well, food, gear, or whatever you have on your shelves. in the basement, I'm gonna put up some shelves, really sturdy ones. Uh, One shelf that are about 180 by 100 by 40. Um, One shelf could store 875 kilos. So I have been thinking to get a couple of those to put in my basement. Uh, and I
That is
have,
awesome. I love that idea. I love
yeah, I have the space down there. So in my storage unit. So, and it's from the floor to the roof. It's very, I can guess it's about 240 maybe. And hey, Uncle Al.
Hi, everybody.
And I, I ordered what at Thursday evening. I ordered emergency package with the Mylar bags, and that package contains bags for 4 person for 30 days. So I wait that I'm waiting for the so I can pick them out. Uh, but we are 2 persons in the household, so that would be 2 months worth of food I can pack on those in that package I ordered now.
Did you ever get the pet food container? I know in Sweden it might be a little higher, but the 25-pound size has a gamma seal and it's rat proof. It's stronger than the 5-gallon bucket, and it's $20 US. I was trying to figure out, you guys use the kron, right? For Sweden.
Yeah, we use krona.
Yeah, it's hard. You ever try to do currency conversion? It gives you a headache. But anyway, it's 25-pound cube, rat proof. It's used for pet food. It's human grade safe and has a gamma seal on top. And that would be fine for your basement if you want to store grains, beans, whatever you want to store in it. Buckwheat, oats. It's perfect. It's $20.95 US. Usually it's like 40 to 60 bucks.
$20. That is about 180, 190 kroner.
I got 200 kroner. My math is bad on that one. Got to redo that. I just stopped by quick because I got to eat and go back to church because I'm doing bookkeeping and paperwork at church, like CR's live stream. I just got in, typed in on my phone at church because they were driving me there. I can't drive. I'm still legally blind. And these are reading glasses, so you don't want me behind the F-250 driving like this. Where's the road? Okay.
I agree with you about that, Uncle Al.
Yeah. So I got this one is perfect for you. It's also on
I
Amazon.
would like to get my hands on that book.
Yeah, this will help you out because I figured out it covers bicycle, it covers wetlands. It's a good book, and it fits right in the category for Sweden. And then this one's for Citizen the Guardian. If you want to know what's going on, I would read this book. It's a textbook. It's college.
Kerry into that, Uncle.
Because
what's happening at the moment as well.
On mute. True. But you have to understand
Oh no,
the whatchamacallit. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. And I can't think of the Mandarin term for battle with 1,000 cuts. I have too many languages in my head, so I get confused and stuff. So I want to say I gotta eat my. What time is it? Oh, it's noontime here. I gotta take my medications too. But I just stopped by, say hello to everybody and everybody on the chat. And like I said, read, folks. It's a lot easier, and they can't stop you from reading. It's not totally 1984 yet. It's getting close. So
Uncle
later,
L.
yes.
Just one question before you leave. Have there been any more apparitions of the bleeding eyes of Uncle Al at funerals or anything like that?
Oh
Any
no,
Armageddon
no.
scenes?
I checked with this eye. I'm going to see an optometrist next tomorrow because I had two surgeries. I had one for the lens and one behind back of the head to relieve pressure. And they said Friday it looks good. Everything's healed up, so I won't get any more blood coming out of my eyes. But I
Oh,
have to
thank God
take
for that.
more of these, so that's always fun. This is going to burn your eyes a little bit. Take Tabasco sauce and put a couple of drops in your head, eyes, and try to look out. Like I got to do this 4 times a day, right? 2 different medications. It's like not fun. So I have to do
I bet
these
you it
two.
reminds you of watching Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah. And then I got to put in a neutralizer because if I don't put in the neutralizer, if I put both in them, I can't see out of my right eye for about 4 hours. So I have to put in the artificial tear, this medication, wait 5 minutes, not to scream, and then put the second eye drop. It's like putting Tabasco sauce. Does that feel harmful? Yes. So I'm going to see my eye doctor on Monday again. I have too many doctor's appointments this month.
Oh, keep us filled in with that, because what you just
Oh,
said sounds like good news. So
yeah, it is. Also, I tell a lot of people if you're going to do your medical appointments, do them early before they shut everything down. Because, if you're shut down, you can't do anything. You're just sitting there. But I'm supposed to give birth, and the kid's already running around. I gave birth at home, you know. Okay, folks. Nice seeing you, Citizen Guardian. Nice seeing you, Lander.
Nice to see you again,
Yeah.
Al.
yeah.
thank you very much, Uncle. It's really good to catch up with you again. Bye bye for now.
Yep. Bye bye.
Oh,
So if there's just be like as Uncle Al leads as well, if there's somebody that's got a vast amount of information and knowledge that you can tap into if you just have conversations, it's always very good to listen carefully to Uncle Al and listen to what he's talking about. He knows a lot more than he'll even ever let people know and stuff like that. But he's somebody that's really important and warm part of the community. So I've always got a lot of time for him.
yeah, I believe he has probably more knowledge about everything than all of us in this stream now. So
I do agree. I absolutely think that there's been so many different topics that have come up, and I'm like still thinking about that topic, And Uncle Al's already has experience in that field. He's got a wide field of knowledge as well, and I think that that's something within the preparedness community that's always good for us to have is having people among us that have got knowledge pieces from different sects as well. Because the amount of international knowledge is also quite important, and I think that that's something from Uncle Al's experience with different countries and how he's relate to different countries is quite interesting.
I agree. I agree totally. He has so much experience in different types of fields, so I always get stunned by his knowledge uh, and all his ideas, and he's really creative and highly intelligent.
also so much fun. Also, like somebody that likes jokes and likes fooling around and making people laugh a bit and that type of thing. So
I agree with you about that one too. Oh man, Uncle Al, he's a funny guy. Oh man.
Well, all I know is I'm going to bug you about Oprah Winfrey and eyes bleeding for the rest of his life.
Oh man. Well, I laugh always when I watch his videos because his way, his mimic, his everything, his body language is, well, you laugh, that is what you do. But behind that humor, he is really serious about what he's talking about. And you should listen.
exactly, that's it. Yep, exactly that.
I was going to say,
Yeah, it's quite often there's a surprise. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Let me just reset the computer. I think
I must have cut you off there or something like
connection.
that.
Be right back.
Okay.
Well, not a problem. All right, hold that thought if you can, and then just definitely when you do get back, let us know. But yeah, so I just I don't know. Like, sorry that my lighting's not too great. I definitely am busy working on something that's quite interesting. Regards to getting that sorted out nicely, but at the moment, even my video quality, because of lighting, my camera is pretty good, but it's just visual side of things. So the reason I joined is, if I tell you, Shadow, something that I like quite a lot, and a lot of the people in the comment section, the fact that we enjoy preparedness as much as we do, have like being able to converse on this topic, because throughout my experience, it's something where in my career I can't really be speaking about it very much, and in our country it's not something that's very big at the moment really yet. We almost on default, a lot of people are preppers, but it doesn't get viewed with the same title really. It's not really preparedness. It's just like a lot of people are like more homesteaders, long-term homesteaders and stuff like that. But yeah, when it does come to prepping, like prepping something that's always exciting for me. And that's why if you do start me like talking on the topic, like I just don't want to end up rambling on, because I know I do that as well. Specifically when it's something that I enjoy, such as preparedness. And that's why in the comment section earlier I spoke about organization, and the fact that sometimes like the amount of time that I've actually spent like organizing and just trying to find, it's almost like it's almost like you're crafting when you're coming up with new ideas, you're coming up with different container ideas.
He plays it like a game of Tetris, and he tries to get it perfect, and he can't quite yet.
Yeah.
So it bugs him.
I always want it to be smaller. I always want my preps to be more long-term. Like that's what my main focus is, like long-term, like much longer-term survival if required. That type of aspect to it as well. So I need to cover bushcrafting. And the thing is, with the amount of weight, you also need to have your preps to a degree that it's not going to weigh you down completely, or else it's useless. You're trying to carry this like giant rucksack. So I'm constantly trying to make things smaller. I'm always trying to somehow make redundancy as well, where creative redundancies right here as well. You can definitely speak to some of this. I'm sure in the comment section, maybe just check that as well. But yeah, like it's just something that I've always found very interesting, in how to get the most gear to cushion that blow from the grid going down. How to make sure that you can sustain life in at least a semi-comfortable way for the long. I know that survival is not about comfort, but how do you make sure that the people that the transition between a modern life in an apocalyptic event or something, really SHTF drastic, how do you make sure that during that transition between yourself and the people around you in your community, how do you make it as comfortable as possible if things do completely collapse. And that's like a big thing for me that I'm always finding out more. I'm always researching. I'm always like trying to learn as much as I can about that.
That is, you have a good point, and you are right about that. See, so
Yeah.
let us put it this way: keep it simple. Don't make things complicated. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. That slogan, KISS, is keep it simple, stupid. And there's that too. But there'll always be a more durable item that you can attain. There'll always be a better way to compact something.
And that's how the big prepping companies get you.
Yeah, not even always the things that cost money, but just the things.
I'm joking.
The thing that is partially true. There's a lot of good gear out there that does cost quite a bit. They keep making better technology for that type of thing, for outdoorsmen and just people in general, hiking, camping gear, and then preppers just take that to the extreme, which I think is something that I find very intriguing. That's why I've always, had that mentality on it.
Yeah. I always, when I first heard about these Berkey filters, I would like to get one myself. And when I checked it up on that website I were at, where I found the Berkey filter, they should have the cost for that would be 8,000 Swedish kronor, which would be about nearly $800. So I said, no way. I can't afford that, because that is just below what I get in month in paycheck. So no. And when I checked on another site, it was a European site, and they sold Berkey filters, all the different sizes. And I find one that caught my interest. That was a portable Berkey filter. It was made specifically, you could carry it with you when you were hiking, camping, and things like that. And that were about, for how many persons was it now? I believe it was from 4 to 5 persons, I believe. So that would cost €349. So that is basically 3,490 krona, I believe.
I think if that brings us to the start where it comes to budgeting and just like looking at longer scale, put a certain set aside of the budget so that it depends on you, so that it's not, because that's something that I think that a lot of people that are new to preparedness do, unfortunately, is they'll like spend a lot of large amounts of their budgets. I remember about 9 years ago is when I really started to get into preparedness, and I've always been into scouts and outdoors and that type of thing as well, but for me it converted to like a more preparedness style about 9 years ago. And then I also, like, for about a good 6 months or so, I put like most of my budget, most of my spare budget as well, leisure budgets and that, into like a lot of prepping and that. And since then I was fortunately, my wife is very supportive as well of prepping, And fortunately, over time, what I was able to do is I was able to reduce it to a point where my budget for prepping is just more a consistent, longer term about now. Like in that instance, then what I would do is essentially over like, 3 or 4 months, depending on like the amount of budget, we usually have a standard fixed rate. And then what we can do is put that aside and then put that into like, the next big prep or something like that as well. And then I'm pretty tactical when it does come to the economy side of that, because I make sure that there's like listing. I list what the next things are. Like if something of mine breaks, then I'll list and just add that to the list that I need to get. And then over time, just roll through that. And that's the same thing with food rotation. But I won't go down the food rotation rabbit hole, because that's a whole different thing that I find very interesting as well, in making sure that you've got the right amount of food that's not going to be impossible for you to transport if required to do so, but that you're also having like enough of a dietary table that you can sustain yourself as well, because it's pointless in just believing that you'd be able to eat only beans, for example. You need to have like a wider spread as well. It doesn't need to be completely across like the nutritional table, but you want to try and come close to it as best possible while having everything compact. So I don't know, but there again, I'm rambling. So sorry for that.
Yeah. But you have a lot of great things and great ideas to share. So I don't mind if you're rambling on.
No, I just like, you see, the reason why I always speak about me like preventing myself from rambling is because I know that like for me, I don't want to, I know that like sometimes if somebody else like speaks a lot more than I do, then I'll usually take like a bit of a backseat and allow them to really like speak about what they were speaking about. And I just don't want people to feel as though like I'm being, like too much or something, or like I always check myself, I try and be like humble. I genuinely do. I try and so it's not like I know better than everybody else, because I also don't want to be the person that consistently talks, because there's also that saying that, what is this saying about trains again, darling?
The empty vessels.
Well, yeah, that's also about that. Empty vessels make the most noise, and I don't want to always appear like an empty vessel type of thing. I don't want to appear ignorant by chatting and rambling on too much. It's something I'm cautious of doing. And it's also
You're South African, we understand.
Oh, really? Oh. That takes it to a whole different level now. Have you met other people? Have you met other people of our country that also tend to ramble a bit?
Yeah, and usually I get them ranting and raving every time I mention the barbecue joke, but you didn't fall for that trap, so you're not bad.
Yeah, we don't take bra that serious, to be honest.
It's one lady from South Africa.
Yeah,
she did, I don't know, a whole entire blog about barbecue. Not barbecuing. What's it called again?
Bra.
Yeah, bra. And this, and this other bloke was there, and he was doing a whole damn blog about it and all these recipes, how to this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that just sounds like a Sunday afternoon barbecue for us Aussies. Oh, and I said that, it was like, that was game over. It was like 2 hours of blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's insane.
You see, I know, like that's
You mustn't
something.
ever make something like that a part of your personality. Like something like a bra is like, that's a core part of your personality that you have to like die on that hill defending it. It seems so dumb to me.
Well, it's fun to get people hyped up and revved up about it. Just let them go for it. Just see a spark, pour petrol on it.
Yeah, I just want to, I don't know if my mic's mute. I don't know. It also, depends on how you really have time for other people, and if it's genuine or not. Like a lot of people will appear to be genuine as well, and they'll just basically, blow smoke. They'll tell you what you want to hear so that they can get your approval to some degree. And that happens quite often. And it is something where you know, like you kind of have to check yourself consistently as well and try and improve. And I just try to genuinely be respectful to other people. And I think that there's a lot of people internationally, not South Africans. I think that we also have a lot of us have a culture, you know, in the country where we try to be also respectful to a degree. But I know from other people that have spoken about, you know, meeting other South Africans before, is that we do tend to be loud at times. We do tend to be bashful and loud, and you know, that type of thing as well. It's kind of a thing in our country because we do have it rough here in a lot of ways. And also people say that we tend to complain. So when you're going through like the things in the country that I'm going through, and then like I hear that other people say that like South Africa, not myself specifically, because I try not to complain at all, but I hear that it's known that South Africans are people who complain a lot. But then if you look at all the situations that we're in, like I can understand why other people will complain all the time. And that I try. Instead of complaining, I prep, right? Like, because what the hell is the point of me complaining all the time and telling you guys, oh, woe is me, you know, this is happening in my country and that's happening in my country all the time. And like we're going through like hell in a lot of ways, but it's not something that I'm going to bring up all the time or make a video on or be like, hi guys, so this is really happening at the moment. This, you know, it seems just like a semi-apocalyptic event happening in our country. That's the thing. It's like if I'm always cautious on. I'm very like pro people sharing information and knowledge and stuff like that. I'm very much for that. Like, you know what Harvey did there was actually amazing. Like that Harvey Black, while speaking to me, got an indication that there was something occurring in South Africa. So Harvey Black is informed internationally of what's happening right now. That is what I love. I love people being informed, and I love people understanding what's happening in the world. Like my only thing, what I'm saying is that, and that's never come from Harvey as well, and I've just seen it like on channels that aren't linked in here in any way. But I have seen like some channels in the preparedness community, and this isn't speaking badly against them, but they like do almost like a very threatening, imminent, like, you know, in 2 months the world's going to end type of thing. And then in 2 months' time, like if they make like a video about that type of thing, like it can be cautious. But I think that, you know, a lot of people, they pay attention to that. If I go and make a video now and I title it "Alert," right, in exclamation marks, and say big news in South Africa, the world, South Africa seems to be, you know, going into complete chaos again or something like that. Like that's what I could actually do. Like I've thought about it, but then I always think against it, because if I do that, like, and then things don't go the way that I presumed that they would go, then I've lost credibility. And in a world that we live in today, credibility seems to be one of the last things that we've got left. But yeah. Sorry for rambling. See, I told you guys.
Well, it's okay. Sometimes it's better to ramble to get things out. So
it is, but I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing your guys' opinions on things as well. I don't want to just like be the person that goes and, you know, that guy's just going to come on my stream and talk all the time. Like, that's not what I want, you know. I don't want that to be your experience in our communication. In fact, I'm going to take like a minute breather, which I should do at this point, and then I'm just going to be right back with you guys. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, smoker.
I try to find okay, we have to go there a sec and check.
Yeah, in reference to Uncle L, he's a
Yeah.
preacher, which means he's been working with people for a good part of his life.
Yeah.
So he's had to deal with all types of different peoples at all different levels, from all different parts of society and in all sorts of situations. So his experience in that field is at a level which most of us will rarely ever get to, because at best we might deal with people from certain little sectors, from different little niches and so on, you know, fields of work and knowledge, but we usually I don't know how to put it. It's like we feel comfortable with the people that we feel comfortable with, but he has to learn how to be comfortable with everybody.
Yeah.
So he's at a level above us when it comes to PR.
Yeah, that's well said. He's at a level above us when it comes to PR. That's very well said. Because you can imagine in those situations, like the different types of people that he's got to speak to, like that really is quite extensive. And the amount of stories that he's probably heard as well, the amount of, things that people have told him.
Oh, confession. Oh, Lord.
Absolutely.
I would go nuts if I had to hear people, all those confessions.
Yeah, it definitely is something that would play on a person's mind, over time. It's something that must be quite intense.
So I don't have to keep inside of me what I have to keep inside of me from my life, let alone have to shut up about everything else that I've heard from other people.
I'm gonna share.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I want to show you what kind of storage shelves I'm had in mind to buy. So I'm gonna share.
Buy? You're not going to make them?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I had in mind something like that. Can you see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Are you speaking about the center one? Are you speaking about the one the
Yeah,
black one in the center?
Yeah, something like that, or that one.
You know what I was thinking? Is go to the shops, to the supermarkets, and see if they've got anything they're writing off or throwing away.
Yeah.
Find a shop that's closing down and on the auction houses, and just see if you can get that dirt cheap, because those things are sturdy as heck.
So they are not that expensive actually. So something like that I had in mind to buy, and you can put a lot of stuff on that. Yeah, 175 kilo per shelf. So that is 875 kilo on all the 5 shelves. So that is pretty good actually.
And
I just wanted to.
That's chipboard on there. That's chipboard on there.
No, I don't think it is. The shelves is 5 millimeter thick, so which is half centimeter thick board. So on the shelves. So
do you do any carpentry, Shadow?
No, I don't. I live in an apartment, so I don't have much space for carpentry.
Mm. No, that makes sense. Yeah, like specifically if it's compact. It's a lot. Sometimes it's a lot more efficient, as Auslander was also saying. Secondhand. Sometimes people give away things when they're moving or something like that, where they sell it like even online. I don't know, in your area, there's most likely like places online where people are selling secondhand things. You could also look there as well. I think that sometimes it's good.
But that is the idea of a type of shelf I want to have. So
Sorry, my camera. I thought my camera was on there for a moment. Sorry, but yeah, I definitely think that something like that'll be with wall mounting. The walls of the apartment that you're in, are you to build internally, like put walls on the bottom in your basement?
I have no windows in my basement.
Like, can you do modifications?
Well, I do modifications. I'm not really sure if I can do that. It depends on the landlord, and they can be a little bit cranky on what you can do and not to do. So
Yeah, no, I understand that as well. So shelving like that you were displaying does make sense. It definitely does, and I think like when it comes to packing as well for your for a lot of your preps, do you also have you don't need to obviously expose and tell me where your caches are on a live channel. I don't ever recommend anything like that for anybody. But do you do cache prepping as well? Do you have caches in various locations around your region in the case of not having any contact with supply?
well, here in Sweden, it is a little bit difficult to caches. You can't just put them in where you want either. So
yeah,
and the risk is other people can find them by mistake and take it steal it for basically. So or throw it away.
Yeah, I think because of a lot of the areas where we have around here, we have a lot more areas that are kind of, not as domesticated yet. A lot of the areas, we've got a lot of, jungle and bush. We've got a lot of that here. So the thing is, if you do put caches out as well, and you do put caches that are more affordable, that can also help where it's not expensive, gear type caches, but more just like resources, like a little bit of gear, like a small compartment of gear, and then like just some basic tin foods and some rice, some maize meal, some wheat, things like that. And also seeds, being able to cache seeds, little heirloom seed pockets, also very, very helpful. If you needed to get the right type of seeds to I'm speaking about very long-term preparedness, very long-term inch type situations.
The problem here in Sweden is that most of the forests land here are owned by the government. So you can't just go out and dig a pit and put your cache down there. You can't do that because you need permission
that
from
makes sense. I
the
understand.
landowners.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it's definitely, and it's always advisable to stick within the confines of the law. That's definitely something that obviously we all try to do to the utmost best we can. It's important because you don't want to end up doing something, and that's really, it comes down to if you do something to jeopardize your safety. Now, situation like proper apocalyptic situation would be in a prison. You don't want to do anything that's going to get you into trouble with the law and then be put away, and then something really bad happens. It's actually the opposite of prepping. It's really not where you don't have access to anything, or you're not even close to the people that you care about. You're not in connection with your mag or at all. It'll be a tough time to be in prison and then things go completely wrong. And I know that a lot of us do have the perspective that it's more of a gradual things going upside down as well, but specifically in disaster scenarios, weather-related incidents, those type of things.
Yeah, I agree. And
That's
the other problem with put caches on different places you have chosen are that um, if you hide them and somebody find it, people who hide things like that, and people and some other find it, uh, they can suspect that it's something illegal you have trying to hide, like stolen goods and things like that. So that is a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's definitely a good point, and I think like you kind of need to be specifically in the modern world. I firmly believe that privacy is a long forgotten thing when it comes to it. So you should just live in a way as though you're being monitored consistently. And I know that sounds strange, but because of the fact that like if we look at modern technology and the access of technology and the way that like all the government corporations, whenever you clicking accept those terms, anything like that, the fact is that a lot of the time computer devices, like computers in general and technological devices, can easily listen in. I'm not saying it from like a tinfoil hat type of thing. I'm not saying they're listening all the time, because they're not. But if they wanted to, for any specific reason, like that you seem to be somebody as a point of interest, they could absolutely look into what you're doing at any point. And I think that anybody thinks that a shift in a social media source or a different way to communicate with people online, I think if somebody believes that when changing software, like just frontal software, I think if somebody believes that that is somehow keeping themselves like safe and private from people, it's not. The main thing that I raise in this is basically that if you're so concerned about your privacy, why are you concerned about it? So you know what I mean? Not yourself specifically. I'm speaking about anybody that has a counter argument to that is like, shouldn't you be an open book? Isn't it better to live a life of complete honesty? Like there's nothing that I do at all that I need to be disclosed about or anything like that. So like even if the government had to somehow raid, see on caches or something like that, or see any of my preps, like I don't speak about anything that's dangerous at all or anything. And I'm definitely somebody that just likes survival and outdoors and camping rather than like more hardcore tactical type of stuff.
I agree. And there must be another way instead of hiding caches in your area. There must be another option. But the question is, what kind of option would that be?
Yeah, I think that's when what I was speaking about earlier, where I was speaking about making sure that you have everything that you could possibly require. Like, how do you take care of hygiene, food, water, shelter? Like, how do you take care of those primary things that we need to survive in a way that you do so without compromising? Like the thing is, right? So there's always the two is one and one is none, right? So having like multiple items, like having like a spare item. But then the thing is like how much can you cook with a certain device? Like how can you prolong that? Like some of those good, those proper pots, like those cooking pots, those old school, what's the name of those? That's what's like a regular cast iron pot. You take a regular cast iron pot, can last forever, like, but it's also very heavy. And then it's like, how do you know what I mean? The weight versus basically weight versus utility is something that I think of quite a lot. That's, I think, how you do that. How you would not use the caches. You ask what would be the alternative, and I think that would be something where that's the science of it. Just making sure that you can equate to that you really need, that you require, versus just having a whole bunch and essentially hoarding. survival items. I don't think that that's a very good. I think knowledge, what you were talking about earlier, knowledge as well, knowledge and books is something that people.
Yeah, books is a great resource to have. I try to build up my own little prepper library, and I have a couple of books in my shelf already. So very useful books actually, and books I really enjoy. Okay, it seems my books had in mind to get down from the shelf. I have
Not a problem.
I have this one. This book
Yeah.
is a good one, and I have also.
That's nice. I like that. I actually don't have any, like a prepper project type book. That's very interesting. I don't think I've seen one of those.
David Nash has written this one, and I have read this book, and this one is really great, awesome. I suggest you buy it if you can find it. And I guess that should not be a problem for you to find it online. And the other book. Excuse me a second.
Not a problem. Auslander, you're a little bit quiet.
I'm just
You're right
listening.
there.
And I also got this.
Yeah, that's a really good book as well. I think.
Yeah.
So I have the more compact one that I keep around all the time as well. That the SAS Survival Guide, but I've got it in like a pocket version, so it's not as. So if you compare it to the size of my hand over there, like
Yeah.
it's basically like a half the size of my hand as well. So it's also nice to have those around. But yeah, having books is something, and also just being able to soak in that amount of information by books as well. I learn like quite a bit through them, and I really enjoy them as well. And once you have that information to practice it, to put it into practice, then it becomes like a lot. The memory aspect of it becomes a lot more fluid for you to remember. So that's something that I really like doing, where I'll read something and then I'll go and try it out and see like what the effect is, and then be able to like just store it mentally a lot more easier because I can do it with practically. Sorry, go ahead.
And I have another book here, The Practical Prepper, written by Kylene and Jonathan Jones. They are the Provident Preppers. They have a YouTube channel, so they reached 100K a couple of days ago. So
Yeah, they're a lovely family.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot. I don't know them very well myself, but I actually have heard like good things. I've heard people speak well of them.
Yeah, Mrs. and I have been watching them for a while, quite a while, and we've learnt a lot from them, especially in the early days. We learnt a lot from them.
The Kylene and Jonathan Jones has have a great knowledge about prepping in general. They know more than I do, and probably more than you do, and everyone in here. So
Well, if you look up some of the videos in reference to food items that they prepped or stored, should I say, back over a decade ago. I believe including wheat and I'm just trying to think some of the items, but I remember wheat was one of them. And they opened it up after like 10 or 15 years of being stored away, and so that means they've been in the game for well over a decade.
Yeah, and it's good. It's very good to listen and to just soak in that information of people who have been in it for like an extensive period, because it becomes such a nice one of the nice positive aspects of what we do is it becomes something that you are always invested in and that you're always interested in. And it's like even if it's not directly out of necessity, always just to be more enthusiastic about it and just to find out more about your local region, what is edible, what isn't, like, and just the way that the community works together. Because that's why I speak so much about this topic, because if I try to amongst people that aren't like into emergency preparedness, people don't like take to it. I learned very easily, like quite a long time ago, I learned quickly that people don't really want to speak about prepping. Like it's not something. So then what would happen is like I'd struggle to find people that I'd be able to discuss preparedness with. And like YouTube has given me an avenue to be able to do so and be able to meet people that are in the community that I can speak openly about, because I love the topic as much as I do. And then imagine if like one of your big passions in life, which is for me prepping, is something that I can just never speak to anybody about. In real life. Myself, Auslander, all the people, Harvey Black as well, Creative Redundancy, I've seen around quite a bit, but it means a lot for me, when I can speak to people about preparedness and join in on the community. And at the moment, I'm following Greyman quite closely, Greyman Prepping, and he's somebody that I look up to in a way, within this community, and I really think that he just, he's got so much content, and it's just interesting to see what he's basically talking about and the way that he does. And he's got very like professional demeanor, straight to the point, straight talker, and I respect that. And I just really like being able to. That's why I do ramble about this topic, like in most social settings, like because of my work and stuff as well. Like I'm not the person that consistently talks, but that's why when it comes to the topic, that's why man.
No, did we lose you?
Well, I have 2 other books I have read also. It's Dave Canterbury who is the author to these books. It is Bushcraft 101, a field guide to the art of wilderness survival. And the other one is Advanced Bushcraft, an expert field guide to the art of wilderness survival. I have read both of them, and I love these books. He has a great knowledge as well. So, and you can find a lot of information in these 2 books. So.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that I work quite closely, specifically a more survival, like core survival aspect as well. I think that he's got a lot of knowledge. Speaking about, more purist survival, if you want to call it in that way, are you familiar with Primitive Technology, the channel, where he builds pretty much like, he starts off with hardly anything at all. He usually wears a pair of blue shorts, very big YouTube channel, and a guy built like from scratch, like just from regular like resources that you find in nature, and you can like create incredible like bushcrafting structures as well. And he like really builds like amazing things.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that guy. And I have watched some of his videos as well. So, and I'm really impressed on what he's doing and what he can do. I didn't think it was even possible to do that. What he doing.
Exactly, it's amazing.
I believe that guy is from New Zealand, right?
Yes, New Zealand. I'm pretty sure New Zealand or Australia. I know that he's from. He's close to Auslander. I know. I know that he's close to you over there.
The name rings a bell, but I can't recall. I don't think I'm not. I can't say that I know the bloke. No, I can't say I know the channel you're talking about. But it does ring a bell.
So that the best. Yeah. So what helps with that channel as well, if you want to learn like what he's doing and how he's doing it, if you put the subtitles on, because he never talks in his videos, he shows you the practical side of what he's doing. It's he's got like a good couple of million subscribers. Like he's a very he's been doing it forever as well, YouTube. And like what he basically does, what you should do is when you're watching a video of his, then what you do is you put the subtitles on, and then the subtitles will tell you so much more instruction about what he's doing and how he's doing it. And I'm very much into like that whole, be able to build a society if everything crumbles, how to do that. And the way that he's able to do that with no tools and just going completely on primitive techniques is why I really enjoy what he does. So yeah, primitive technology, I highly recommend that you give that a watch when you can, over the weekend or so.
Have you guys ever watched or followed up on Earthships?
That sounds very interesting, but I haven't.
The building of Earthships. It's a self-sustainable building, utilizing pretty much 50% of reutilized materials such as car tires, aluminium cans, soda pop cans, I guess as the Americans call them, bottles, and there's a lot of cement that goes into it. So it's 50-50, 50% materials which are from the hardware shop, hardware store, whatever, and the other 50% is rubbish, stuff that people throw away. But the way that buildings are built is that there's no waste. Water is reused 3 times. Solar panels they do it at a bare minimum, just for the basics. So don't expect to be doing anything fancy in there as far as electricity goes, but it's enough to live off of. And there's an inside garden, and the storage is also utilized outside for the actual. Yeah, it's all taken care of. There's 6. You have to just Earthships. Type it in there. The guy that thought of the idea, he's a little exotic, but he's a qualified, not engineer, architect. He's a qualified architect, but he refused to go. Well, he was a bit of a chicken. I won't go into the real description of it, but he didn't want to be drafted for the Vietnam War back in the day, so he went to school, finished etc. He's one of those hippies, but at the same time, he did good with his knowledge. He thought out of the box, and he managed to achieve something. He proved the point that a home, right, a building in which you live in, what we know as a home, as a house, not as a home, but as a house, is nothing but a waste of money. It keeps consuming money, it keeps consuming power, and so on. And so what he's done is actually built something that is self-sustainable as far as life goes, hence the term Earthship, because it gives you the food, water, everything. And he lives in, I think it's Arizona, don't quote me, somewhere in the middle of bloody desert in the US, where they only get X amount of inches of rain per year. but it's enough for everybody in the house, in that Earthship, in the home, to live off of. So
This is incredible.
It's wonderful, and they built it in Canadian regions, works perfectly. They built it in the hotter regions, obviously, works perfectly, and all over the world. In fact, I think there's one in the UK as well. If I'm not, no, there's definitely one in the UK, and there's one in France that I know of.
It says
in Australia,
it says there's 3.
What was that?
Yeah, it says there's 3,000 of them. Like it says there's 3,000 Earthships that are out there.
Okay, there
These
you
are
go.
amazing. Never knew any. Like I should have known about this because this is something that's like I really.
Let me find one video which
So-
I have recommended to people, and this was in South America. Let me find it. Just hang a second. I've sent it to me kids in the past. It's an excellent video by them. Give me just a couple of, might need a few minutes. You know the go, when you're looking for something, you can't find it. Hang on. I think this could be it. Just let me turn the...
Never heard of that guy.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up as well. Thank you, Cosgar. And then with these Earthships, I'm looking at some of the images at the moment and seeing the way that these are built. And I'm just like, this is such a... You realize that in like a dystopian future, right? So that, like this type of thing would be absolutely incredible. Like you have, like because of some of the places are pretty remote where they have them, and bless you, and yeah, so it's definitely interesting to see the way that they're done, and it's an entirely different, perspective on self-reliance and having that capability to produce, to be fully self-sufficient. That's amazing.
Yeah, check out the link I just chucked into the chat room. Wait a minute, I can put it here as well. Probably. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a watch as well. I also want to say bye to Harvey because I see Harvey's off here as well. So yeah, just have an awesome weekend, Harvey. Thank you for supporting
he's
us.
sick of listening to my Aussie accent. That's what it is.
No, your Aussie accent's much more. Remember what we spoke about last time? Your Aussie accent's much more, comfortable in the ears than my, South African accent.
Yeah. Give me a couple of beers, and then I'll ask you.
It's
You'll be like,
terrible.
oh, bloody hell, this guy swears there. It's like, can he say one sentence without using a cuss word?
I know, but when I hear myself like in my head compared to when I hear myself like on audio, it's always something for me to get over because I sound so like grouchy and almost grumbly or whatever. But on the note of Harvey saying cheers, I'm going to check this out as well. I just want to say thank you for having me up on the panel. Shadow, I appreciate the chat and the catch up, and I don't want to be too long on this because I've got my wife and I are probably going to watch a movie or something like that now. But thank you for allowing me back on the panel. And because it's 10:30 here, we end up being up quite late. But anyway, thank you to everybody in the comment section. Thank you, Auslander and Shadow. It's always great to catch up.
Yeah, you two have a good one.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Young couple. They got
Yeah.
other things to worry about.
They are really nice. and his wife is also really nice, and she's has some humor as well.
Oh yeah, South Africans have got a good sense of humour. At least all the ones I met.
Yeah,
Not that
and
I've met dozens, to be honest. I've only met a few, but the ones that I have met do have a sense of humour. Except about their bloody barbecues. They get upset about those.
yeah.
Usually. This couple doesn't, which is unusual. Sets them apart from all the other ones I know.
Uh, his accent reminds me about the Australian accent a little bit. Not much, but a little bit.
You know what I found is that most the South Africans that are in Australia that have migrated to Australia,
Yeah,
they all fit in pretty well. So there's no real issue there. I mean, which just means that I guess we're on the same. I'll say on a similar wavelength as far as a lot of things go. You
yeah.
know, we can't be identical. We're two different cultures, but
No,
they fit right into Australia. So I don't see. Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I agree totally. So.
I've never really heard of any Aussies moving to South Africa, though. To be honest.
No, I haven't heard anything about that either. So I guess that is not many Aussies who want to move there.
Although maybe now, who knows? In lieu of the situation that's happening, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Might be moving to the USSR soon to look for freedom, or to China.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
New
go to
Zealand.
China. What's that word? Political asylum.
Yeah,
Refugees. 2 million Australians managed to flee to China by boats looking for political asylum. We want our freedoms. Please lock us up in your little apartments. Give us an ID card, a Chinese
yeah,
Communist Party ID card. We'll sign up. Just give us our freedoms. Oh Lord, that's yeah, that's morbid.
yeah. And they say probably, well, you can have your citizenship if you sign up for the party. Yeah,
Ah, mate, I'm sure that there'd be a number of people who'd sign the bloody dotted line in a heartbeat.
yeah,
Just yeah, I'm more convinced of it now than yeah. In the past, I thought it would be a minority, but now I'm putting a question mark there. I don't know.
yeah,
Things are changing.
yeah. They are really changing. The world is changing, and everything is unstable. And one low spark can make the whole world go south. So yeah. Well, I think it's just time to wrap things up. I have to go to vote for the. It's we have a election for the
Oh,
church
for the
election.
church.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it is a small election basically. It is. We will have the regular next year. So we. I don't like when you make mix politics with religion, because it's two different things, and those two should be separated. But
Well,
the problem is we have the politicians are sitting in their whatever they call it, um, and there are basically most of well, we have the left party, we have the socialist party, we have the center, we have the moderates, and we have the Swedish Democrats, and the KD.
well, I'm just going to say the following: Western society, as we know it, has been built upon a morality of love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
Of we'll say the New Testament in general, with the Ten Commandments being the founding documents. We'll say documents, the founding the founding morality, plus what Jesus taught in the New Testament, the commandments that he gave. It says forgive, turn the other cheek, but it doesn't say forget. Right. So, and as far as the justice system goes, it's based very heavily upon the Old Testament. So we can say we don't want to mix politics and religion, but the foundation of Western morality is based upon what the Holy Bible says and teaches. So no matter how much certain individuals or certain political ideologies wish to put themselves above the morality of Christianity, they only have the ability to do that because of the morality that Christianity allows, the tolerance that it allows, that it gives, to love everybody equally, that all men are created equal. I love it when Americans say our Constitution says all men are created equal in the eyes of God. Well, sorry, that's what the Bible says. You didn't invent that. That should be in every single Western country, and technically it is. So, in a way, it's like if we destroy our own morality, if we renounce our own foundation of our morals, of our goodness, what made us different to all those regimes out there, then in a way we're actually trying to, in a way we're destroying you see what I'm saying? It's interlocked. And I understand that some people who don't want to believe in creation, in God, in goodness, well, in godliness, should I say. I can understand that they don't want religion in their politics. But if you ask them, is it right to kill a person? They'll say no. Well, where do you get that morality from? Sure isn't from some of these other so-called religions, such as Islam, or, not to mention the others, but that one in particular being the most radical. So how can you renounce? It's like, do you think it's okay to cheat on your partner, whether on your legal partner, whatever the case may be nowadays, as far as legal relationships goes? Do you think it's okay to lie? Do you think it's okay to, and so on and so on? And they'll all say no, 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 no. Well, you've just accepted that you are basing your morality on those morals which are taught throughout the last 4,000 years through Judeo-Christianity.
Yeah.
And so even they it's like, oh, we don't want this, but we want this. And that's what we're getting. It's a very confusing time right now. It's like, why don't we just call a spade and call it for what it is? You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in Jesus. That's your choice. Everybody chooses their path in life. But don't deny and renounce the fundamental goodness upon which we were able to build such a free and liberal society, in which every human being was given the freedoms to choose their own path and to find their own way in life. because the other side of that coin is what? A regime.
Yeah.
You see my point?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and I'm afraid that with this ignorance that some people are showing, where they're constantly trying to say, oh, no, secular. Well, you can have secular in the sense that no religion is forced upon anybody. But why do we why do we have so many individuals who are so intent on denying the truth of our past, upon our fundamental values in our society, in the way our nations were formed, and the freedoms that we have today? Thank goodness, or thank God, depending on however anybody wishes to say that,
Yeah.
There's no need to deny who and what we are. I feel very strongly about that personally. That's why I went on a bit of a blah blah session here. But when someone says we need to separate religion and politics, well, why? Why? Our politics, our whole political system, everything was, especially in the UK, especially in the Commonwealth, in the English-speaking nations, the New Worlds, Australia, Canada, and America. Our fundamental everything was built upon what? The British justice system. The British justice system has what? A legal system which was built upon the Bible, and to prove that, the King James Version of the Bible has the King's seal on it, which makes it law in that kingdom.
Yeah.
So why now go to the exact opposite extreme of, let's say, something that socialism tried to do in Russia, in the USSR, and look what happened there, for example, where they went the other way. And I'm not picking on communism or socialism when I say that. I'm just saying anybody that tries to deny their, it's like, why are you fighting against yourself? But yet they enjoy the freedoms that they have. All those people that are against that love those freedoms. The only reason they can say what they say without being persecuted is thanks to these morals and the foundations of who we are, what our background is, which is Christianity.
Yeah.
It's such a, I don't know. I'm afraid that if we keep putting man-made ideologies and denying facts from the past of who and what we are, that we will lose our path as far as humanity goes again. Yeah. And we've done that way too many times as far as humanity goes on this planet.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
sorry, very, very, very personal topic. Very, very something that I feel very strongly about, because there's no need to hide from the truth.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, go vote for your church.
Well, it's basically it's you can call it some sort of committee, and then the politicians decide what church are gonna do and things like that. But the politicians don't have the same insight in the church as the priests or bishops has. So,
well, it's different. They have different goals.
Yeah, exactly. That is why I don't like to have the politician to decide what the church are gonna do. It's better the church decide what they are gonna do, and the politicians can decide what they're gonna do on their field of expertise. So that is my opinion anyway. So
yeah, well, Karaka, common law is actually based upon the Old Testament as well, if you look into it more, and upon the New Testament as well.
Yeah.
I just read the comment there, and common law, yes, common law.
Yeah.
That is common. That is the law of the people. And if the people have a morality which is built, and I'm talking Western societies now, have a law and a common grounds which is based upon the morality of something that was taught by JC, there's no need to hide from it or deny it. There's no need to try and pretend that that's not the case. That's who and what we are. It doesn't mean that everybody has to be a Bible basher.
Well, I agree.
Yeah. And note, a common law really does function well if there is a common ground / a common sense, a morality which is revolving around goodness and respect towards all others as equals. It doesn't function in those societies where the community believes that women are lower class or lesser human or lesser worthy, or and so on and so on. Needless to even explain that. That's what you say, common sense. But that common sense comes around from something.
Yeah.
It didn't just come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you go doing your thing that you have to do. Thanks for chatting.
Good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And it's always good to have you on the panel. You always have great ideas.
Yeah, look up Earthships. You'll be surprised. And it's the 6, just to throw this one point out, it's the 6 what's it called? The 6 principles of the Earthship that are important.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the building technique, the architecture behind it, but the principles of the water, the waste, the electricity, and so on and so on. You'll be surprised. Everybody that I've thrown this to, I'm surprised that not very many people have actually looked into it. But yeah. Anyway, you stay safe, all right, brother?
You too, bruh.
Out.
Out. Okay, guys. Have a great day. Good night. Stay safe. Take care. And I'm out. Long live the king.